So today's message is entitled Don't Judge, Emulate. Don't judge but emulate. A lot of times it's so easy to judge. It's easy to judge people. Sabi nga nila, don't judge the book by its cover. I remember a famous saying by Melody Marquez, right? Don't judge my brother, he's not a book.
Very smart.
Very smart. So, similarly, we are not to judge because they're not a book. And a lot of times we judge people because they didn't conform to our expectations. We wanted something, they acted differently, they dressed differently, they talked differently. Chances are they're wrong. Chances are they're an outcast. And the sad part is, we are sometimes so blinded by our own standards that we fail to see the very obvious in front of us. We judge people, and yet, sadly, some of them are worthy to be emulated. And, for us, we want to ask, who are the people in our lives that we want to emulate? People that we regard highly. For us as a country, we emulate people. Now, who are these people that we emulate? Well, don't emulate Duterte in a lot of manners. In some manners, yes, but the way he talks, probably no. The way he executes justice, probably no. But maybe his focusedness, maybe yes. But as a country, we emulate. Our society espouses emulation. That's why we have national heroes. These national heroes are, you don't see national hero, the head of Corotong Balele. We don't want to emulate that. We have national heroes like what? Dr. Jose Rizal, Juan Luna, Bonifacio, Del Pilar, right? These are people that have certain characteristics that our nation believes it's worth emulating. Now, for us in the church, we have our forefathers. There's this book, Fox's Book of Martyrs. Excellent book. Really. And there we see people, men of faith, our forefathers of faith, the founders of our church, fighting and striving for the faith. And we say, let's emulate them. In the company, even in companies and corporations, how is this thing encapsulated? Employee of the week. Most loyal employees, right? Best achievers. Sa Congress, complete attendance. Right? Imagine, complete attendance. Given na yun, So all of these are meant to focus ourselves on certain characteristic that we want our culture to grab, to emulate, to copy. Now, what are these criteria? Maybe in Jose Rizal, maybe it's country above self. Right? So these are the things. And as we continue the book of Philippians chapter 2, let me just go there. Philippians chapter 2. Remember, we're in chapter 2, and the key verse in Philippians chapter 2 is found in verse 3. It says, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also in the interests of others. That is the main point of Philippians chapter 2. Humility. Considering others better than yourself. And we had several examples. The most perfect obviously was Jesus. Second was Paul. And last week we looked at Timothy. And you know, Paul might be a rare breed. Timothy, not as rare. But today we're looking at Epaphroditus. This man is like any other man. His traits should be in us. Now the question that's being asked kasi at Philippians chapter 2 verse 25 to 30, the key issue is this. How will the church in Philippi receive Epaphroditus? Because by all intents and purposes, Epaphroditus has failed. You know, their society at that time is built in shame and honor. Either you bring honor or you bring shame. And in this case, the church in Philippi views Epaphroditus as having failed. And having failed miserably. A lot of times, our value systems nowadays, we don't really grasp that, right? Now, try to imagine this. Try to imagine that your grandparents, I know this group, so wala tayong grandparents. So, let's say, your grandparent, right? But Mama Bell, right? But I was thinking of different thing. Let's say Mama Bell is clear thinking. Okay, tayo wala tayong grandparent. Yeah. So, and it's her 80th birthday. Wow, big party. And everybody said, okay, who will bring the cake to Lola? And everybody started planning, let's plan a party, surprise party for Lola. Because it's her 80th birthday, she's been good to us. And everybody pitch in and everybody brainstorm and the consensus is we'll have a big party. Okay, you family are in charge of getting the hotel, or you're the one in charge of the food menu. You're in charge of inviting. Make sure the friends of Lola that's still alive is invited, because many of them might not be there, right? Big day comes, and one of the biggest question is, who among the apostles will carry the cake to Lola? At the highlight, when the orchestra is playing the favorite song of Lola, who will be the one will be carrying the cake and presenting it? And all of a sudden they say, Samantha. Samantha will be the one carrying the cake for Lola on her most memorable occasion of her life. All the pamangkins had their new clothes sewn. It was really a big production. And I remember when my sister Atamal got married, we all sang. It was a big production. We had to practice every week. But here, after all the performance was done, right? Everybody practiced. It's now time for Samantha to bring the cake to Lola. And that was the highlight. All of a sudden, the MC goes in front and says, Lola, we love you. Now for the cake. Beautiful cake done by Hennessy. So really nice, blah, 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 blah cake, right? All of a sudden, Samantha enters. Mom feeling proud. Dad feeling proud. She was the chosen one. But the thing there is, she slipped. and the cake fell, and she, her face went to the cake. Right? What would be the reaction of the crowd? Follow the clapping. What would you feel if that happened to you? Right? First of all, Samantha, what would you feel? You want to hide inside the cake. Because you eat the cake. Because all eyes was on you. On that big, momentous moment, the highlight of the party, you fumbled the cake. You ate it in advance. You were that hungry. Right? The sense of shame would be so big. All of a sudden, Sam, you would feel all alone in the room. And you would feel that everybody's looking at you. Right? But, not only are you put to shame, your family, your mom will be ashamed and angry. You'll be both ashamed and angry on what just happened. That is the situation here. Epaphroditus was meant to go to Paul specifically to minister to him. With that, with Epaphroditus going to Paul to minister to him, it would bring honor to Epaphroditus and to the church in Philippi. But the thing here is not everything panned out as planned. Epaphroditus, no, I just call him Epi, okay? Because I have a hard time, eh? So, Epi got sick. He got sick on the way to Rome. And with that, he became, now he's a burden. He's now a burden. Instead of him serving Paul, now alagain pa. Right? It's like saying, I'll send somebody to your house to help you. You end up taking care of that person. Naging alagain. That's the situation that Epi was faced with. All of a sudden, something that was supposed to bring honor is now a matter of shame. Epi, nahihiya siya because he was supposed to do something. The task was clear. He wasn't able to deliver. The church in Philippi napahiya. Napahiya sila sa tatay nila. Because they were supposed to be helping. Ngayon, naging burden pa. Now, Paul had an option, right? Paul had the option to be a prima donna. And says, hey naman, nagpadala pa dito ng katulong, palpak pa. Man, what kind of help is that? He's now a burden. We don't have much money. Ngayon, kailangan pa ito pakainin. I have to get somebody to watch over. He could have been like that. Right? But now imagine, we're back at the party. And Sam was there, splattered on the floor with cake all over her. And then your Lola stood up. The most respected person stood up, went to the mic, and says something like, you know what, Sam? Let me tell you of something that happened to me worse than that. Can you see how that would affect Sam? Can you see how that would affect? It would not erase the incident, but it would lighten the incident. All of a sudden, the head of honor comes to the rescue. And those in high position has that power and opportunity to influence the outcome